Ever since we met him in 1968, and then the dream partly came true towards the end of his life. This time, I would request you to stay silent for a moment in memory of our great teacher, Father Gregorius, and his successor, More Philoxenos, who carried out some of his visions in a practical way. So let us remember these two great bishops. And also, when I came here yesterday, I saw young people working very hard to build this place. They told me they have been working for just 3 days. So there is a genuine effort on the part of our people in Delhi to make this place alive, particularly the youth. When I was at the altar, I saw a list of bishops and priests on the altar, which is nice to remember in the Holy Kurbana. Then I thought that an addition should be made to that list. All the faithful living and departed of the Delhi diocese, because they are behind the whole thing. This is the church, the people of God. So I thank you all, and let us have a moment of quietness. Thank you. When we are silent, we heard the charming sound of children. And I remember, and most of you seniors remember, that Paulo Gregorius Silvani loved it. In spite of all his busy schedule, even when he is very angry with adults, he was so fond of children, he would spend hours and hours to play with children. It is nice that children broke that silence which adults observe. So it carries great promise for our world. Now, what I thought of doing here is not to make a speech, but to share some little thoughts with you, with your response also. Because I see that most of you are young people born and brought up in Delhi or other parts of India. So I am sure that he would also show you is a picture. But I don't think it would come out well in this light. The story is this. In Kerala we have what is called the World Art Festival, Biennale. Biennale was conducted for the second time in Kochi since I visited both biennales. Last time when I went to the exhibition ground, I was taking a young man with me who wanted to go to the seminary. So we were both watching various things. And at the entrance of one little room, somebody invited us to go in. It was strange that we got that invitation, because apparently nobody was going in. And the person who invited us, the volunteer, who invited us, told us it will take 45 minutes. We will have to stay in the room 45 minutes. So people are very busy, they will have 45 minutes. But I decided to go in. It was curtained off, and when we entered, it was completely dark. From outside light, it came in completely dark, and little by little we looked in and we found a chair, two chairs, and we were sitting there. And then I expected some video. That's what they said. There would be a video, but there was no video. We waited and waited. About 10 minutes passed. I was anxiously waiting for the video to appear on the wall. And then I heard a snoring sound. My young companion was snoring because he was bored. He was a young man. And he wants action, immediate results. And he got bored. But because of his respect for me as senior, he was sitting silently there, but he started sleeping. And I was holding on. And then there was a light, a sort of a light, which is slightly luminous, appeared on the screen. Again, we waited. And then after 5 minutes, the light became broader, the patch of light. Then again 5 minutes. And little by little, I found that it was a pillar. You see this pillar? Yes, but it took about 20 minutes for the pillar to appear. You are sitting in total silence, nobody else in the dark room except my companion. And then, little by little, you saw a part of the wing of the angel. And you know this story. This is the angel Gabriel announcing the good news to the Virgin. So, at the end of 45 minutes, the whole picture appeared. This is done by a French artist. Her first name is Charlotte. I don't remember the last name. She is a rather well-known person. She has made this video out of a painting in Italy. There's a monastery in Italy where the original of this painting was done on a wall in the corridor. In the corridor, at the end of the corridor, you have this painting. But it is dark, always dark. Normally, without artificial light, you cannot see. But on the 25th of March, the sun comes in a particular angle, and there is a hole through which the sun's light falls on the painting on the 25th of March. You know the importance of 25th of March? Yeah? Yes. The Annunciation, according to the Gregorian calendar, the Annunciation to the Holy Virgin. And that is very, very interesting. The painter, it was done in the 15th century. So they calculated all these things, and then the 25th it becomes lighted up. And so the artist in France, she made this video out of it. But why this delay? Why it takes such a long time to appear? That is the question. I was sitting there, and first of all I didn't understand. But then, little by little, the light comes to you. When a child is conceived in the womb of a woman, it takes a long time. It takes 9 months, normally, 9 months. And it's a period of waiting, not only for the woman, but also for the immediate family, friends, and so on. So, conception and the growth of the child, it takes a long time. But the would-be mother takes it in her stride, She doesn't hurry it up. She wants to see the child, but it takes time. So the long time of waiting in the great patience. And then at the end, you have the child. So the Holy Virgin, when she heard this impossible message. Of course, she was doubtful at the beginning, and then she accepted it. But that acceptance was to experience this time of waiting and patience and suffering. So this video actually does not end with the birth of the child. It goes on to the end of the whole story, where the mother is, according to the words of Simeon, the mother is deeply wounded in her heart. And at the foot of the cross again, she had that deep pain when she had to watch her only son being killed in a very, very brutal way. So the pain continues, So it's not simply the birth of a child, the first moment of conception, and then the gradual growth and all kinds of experience. And she had to pass through that experience until the very end of her son, the physical end of her son. But then again, it is not over, As we have it in the Lent period, after crucifixion, we move on to the joy of resurrection, the light of resurrection. And the Holy Virgin had that experience also. She went through this pain and darkness, and finally the joy and light of resurrection. And then she became the center of the church. So in many of the Orthodox icons, you see the Holy Virgin sitting in the middle of the apostles. They have 13 apostles, not only 12, because Saint Paul is added to the number of 12. So she is sitting in the middle, where she is not simply a human person, not simply a woman or a mother, but the symbol of the whole church. So the apostles, the first disciples of Christ, are seated around her, and she is luminous, and she carries in her heart all this experience of pain and joy, of death and life, of darkness and light. So she sits there radiating a particular joy and glow to the people who sit around. So that is what the iconographers do. I wanted to show this picture and tell the story of the video made by the French artist. Well, I have seen many other paintings and installations in that Biennale, but this is one piece of art which remained with me and made me think and reflect and okay. Yeah? No problem. That's fine, okay. When we chose this theme of from death to life, it's actually not complete. It should be a prayer. Lead us from death to life. That's a prayer. So it's given in the Sanskrit from Brihadaranya Upanishad, Mrityorma Amrudam Gavaya. It's an ancient prayer. It's the most profound prayer arising from the human heart. And every time you listen to that chanting of Mrityorma Amrudam Gavaya, remember that it's not simply a Hindu chanting. Some people take it as a Hindu mantra, not at all, This is a very profound human prayer aspiration, from death to life. We do not know whether animals can pray that way. We have no evidence the animals can consciously pray, but they too have an aspiration for life. So maybe that is a prayer. So whatever God has created has life. That's a very important thing that we should keep in our mind. Don't say that God created the rocks, but they don't have life. Don't say that God created trees, they don't have life. God created human beings and they have life. In a way, we all share the same life. Whatever God has, because God's creation is a dynamic act. God is life. Jesus said, I am the life of the world. And Jesus is the Son of God, is God Himself in our understanding. So God is life. When life creates life, it is not dead. So first of all, imagine that whatever God has created is living, is dynamic. Don't make that easy distinction between the living and the dead. I have a birthday. When I die, some of you will say, this man died on such and such a day. So I have a date of birth and a date of death. But I don't believe in those dates. First of all, I have two birthdays. Because there's my official birthday and my real birthday. I asked my mother, why didn't you remember my birthday? And she told me, well, after 5 children, I couldn't really remember your birth. Particularly, 2 children had died when they were infants before me. So it's quite, she was a bit, perplexed whether I would live or not. But then, when you go to school at that time in our countryside in Kerala, seniors would know, you have the Malayalam era, Malayalam days. And the parents would quote Malayalam days, and the teacher or headmaster at the school, he's not a very learned person normally, but he knows a little bit. So he would translate that into an English. Look at the boy, your forgiveness, that's very fine, that is essential. At the same time, if one community offends another community, if we as a community does harm to others, we don't confess as a community. So it's not simply a personal conversion,